Hello. The title of this video is The Art of Cross-Examination, Volume 1. It is commonly reported that up to 70% of jurors have substantially made up their mind by the end of opening statements. What the jurors are waiting for, the money shot, as they say in television, is the cross-examination of the central witness by the advocate, by the plaintiff's lawyer. And frequently, because I, as plaintiff, have the burden of proof and get to pull the orders of witnesses, I put on the principle of the defendant first. And begin with cross-examination, which is perfectly legal, and judges will overwhelmingly allow the plaintiff the privilege of arranging witness order. And jurors have an expectation. They watch a lot of television, they watch a lot of movies, and they don't see trials eking along. They see the good stuff. They see the cross-examination of the principal. And the attention span is going to drop dramatically after 25 minutes. So what they're expecting is to see some, blood on the tracks, straight up. If you want to be a successful litigator, you need to be a great cross-examiner. And why is that? Because cross-examination, a fundamental constitutional right, is the way that we show out liars and the way that we frame the case that we're putting on. The number one thing that a cross-examiner needs to remember is that they already have a list of must-says, and you want to have that with you. And what are must-says? Must-says are answers that have been given in prior interrogatory answers, prior deposition testimony, and prior positions that were laid out in writing. And you're going to have everything that this witness has said that is helpful on a separate sheet of paper. I use them on larger fonts as my eyes have deteriorated, but they can be shuffled. And you want to cover all of the things that this witness has to say that benefit your case. As the questioning veers off, you want to reshuffle them where you're able to keep the admissions and the favorable statements consistent with the story that you're telling and the narrative. Frequently, the witness, particularly if they've not been methodical and preparing like your witnesses did, they'll contradict something that was in a prior response, which immediately jumps to their credibility. How do you show that someone isn't being credible? Well, not only do you want the statements that were made by that witness to be asked about, but to the extent other people, especially third-party witnesses that have a different version, you want to drill down and you want to get the witness under cross to lay out their version and how one person's version is right and one person's version is wrong. Now, frequently, you will have a combative witness that is blathering and not answering the questions and dodging where it is that you're going. Well, there's some techniques to deal with this. First, don't quit. If you have a key question that needs an answer, and you need to ask it 5 times. Don't let the witness avoid answering a question. And this is one of the worst mistakes that cross-examiners make, which is they get bored or tired, and they do not have an answer to the key question on the record, and they move on. Don't do that. Keep going no matter how many times you have to ask. You want to be able to have short questions. And some of the questions may be as simple as, and then what happened? And you want to have questions framed where you're not telling multiple items in a long narrative. And you want to remember that you want to keep the questioning along your theme. And one way to deal with a blathering witness under cross-examination is to ask leading questions, which are perfectly legal. You also don't want to make it easy for the witness. You typically do not want to go in chronological order. You want the element of surprise, but you want to keep it within the theme. If you want to win, if you want to prevail, and if you want to destroy the credibility of the other side, you will be methodically prepared. You will methodically go forward and cover all of the key points that favor you, and you will develop inconsistencies.